And just so you know, the translations are set and we're good to go for whenever you guys need to.
Wonderful. Okay, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Um, I think that everyone knows that the route used moving forward, we will be giving whatever topic it is. We will be asking questions at the end. I will be part of this usually. I won't this time because we're driving from Oklahoma City to Little Rock, where we have meetings that have to do with environment and skin defense and clothing and insects repellents with Walmart and stuff like that. We have a lot of great meetings. But we're driving because right now the doctors don't want me to fly. So I have to get off after 30 minutes. But Duquesne, Dylan, and Tiger and Tiana can ask different questions and then choose someone to give this protocol to. Our goal is to educate people on wellness. We don't claim we're going to fix something or cure an illness or that we're going to diagnose or treat or do anything. We are here for educational purposes only. Yes, I'm a scientist and doctor, but the purpose of today's call is to educate really everyone out there on how they can, regardless of a diagnosis, be as great as they can be as well as they can be. Because I want to say this again, we aren't everyone's doctor, we aren't their clinician, but we are here to make every person as wonderful as they can be, and we want you guys to be. So by supporting every time now and giving a protocol away, we can help you guys really help your own lives and other people. For that, and Tiger and Tiana can explain it at the end, we will want to do a case study after 30 days from either Tiger or Tiana on the protocol of where we gave the wellness packets away, because we will want to document how they're doing. And we may give product away up to 90 days per protocol. So for example, if we're doing Lyme disease and the customer's doing well on their wellness packet that supports Lyme disease for 30 days, we may extend it to 90 days. The people that we give protocols to on wellness have to have a link. They have to be signed up because we want to be able to continue to help them. Another thing we're going to be doing through the end of the year and next year is helping people sign up for ISNS, because we want people to have as much education as they can around these protocols. And ISNS produces more white papers and literature review that we want you guys to be able to see. So Root is sponsoring free memberships for people that sign up for Root, that they can join ISNS as well. If you have questions on that, please reach out to Tiger and Tiana. So let's go talk about Lyme disease. And sorry about the glasses, everyone. It's very bright where I am, and so I'm having to wear these in the sun. But I wanted to go to the next slide and talk about really what Lyme disease is about, because that's our topic today. Some of you guys know I've had Lyme disease. I was 19 years old. I was traveling with my best friend working in North Carolina. Probably the funnest time in my life, to be honest. Everything was going fantastic. And then I went on a camping trip with the other people I was working with, and I got Lyme disease. And it was really a game changer for me. What I mean by that is it changed my life. And at the time, I thought it was for the worst. But now that I'm older, I realize that it helped me get on the journey that I'm on. It helped me get on the journey to really support my health for wellness and to not give up. So for all of you guys out there that have had Lyme disease or have friends that have Lyme disease or families, I don't want to minimize the fact that it's really painful to have this disease. But I also want to emphasize you've got to turn it around as something good for your life. Be an example for others. Support the rest of your body. Get rid of the Lyme disease by continuously working towards this solution. So Lyme disease is a tick-borne illness. It comes from the Borrello family, and a lot of people say that it is occasionally in North America. There's lots of different beliefs on how this started. I know I have my personal beliefs that are different than most things that have been written up, because I worked for Pfizer when we were doing a project that had to do with Zithromax and Diflucan at Camp Pendleton, and helping people that had contact with this, because at the time when Lyme disease came out, people didn't even understand what it was. It's kind of like when HIV came out. People didn't understand what HIV was. It was a sexually transmitted disease. Lyme disease isn't known for being sexually transmitted. However, as a scientist, I believe when people are having sex, they can transmit this disease. That's my personal opinion. Some doctors think you can, some think you can't, but everyone was really dumbfounded by this disease. And I was one of the first people that had it. My parents didn't even believe it. They didn't know what it was, but they did know that I ended up in the ICU with 105 temperature, and I didn't even know their names. I didn't know my parents' names. I didn't know their address. And this came at a time where my life was great. Like, I'm going to college. I was living my life to the fullest, working, enjoying everything, and then I get Lyme disease. The prevalence of this disease is a lot higher than I think is reported. It's really at its peak in Europe and in the United States, and it really shows more during the summer. However, you will see people contact this disease all during the year, and you will see people all over the world that have this disease. The causes and transmission of this disease, again, are debated. So next slide, please. That's because of the different vectors and how they really look at how this disease is diagnosed. Are there other factors involved? Did you get it from a deer? Did you get it from mice? Did you get it from birds? The transmission timing varies depending on the tick bite. It can be 36 to 48 hours. Again, a lot of these details are not perfect. And what I mean by this, you guys could be going to 5 different doctors in your lifetime for Lyme disease. They would all have a different statement. They would all have a different belief. And that's because it is a fairly new disease. It's something that came out in like the 80s, and people were like, what's happening? They didn't understand, just like HIV, except for this disease is not something that is predominantly sexually transmitted. It is typically transmitted through a flea or a tick or something else that's biting you, that's putting this into your body. I was bit by a tick. There was a bull-sized rash. I had flu-like symptoms. I had 105 temperature, headaches. I couldn't remember my name. I had rashes. I had all of these things that are described as the stages of Lyme disease. And I'm not sure what's happening, guys, but let's make sure that we're keeping up with the slides. We're on stages right now. So when you look at the stages, again, they're very different. People have early stage and then they have late stage. However, I've seen patients that have gone back and forth. And what I mean by that is I've seen people that kind of miss over the early stage, or they don't have any symptoms. And then later they come with neurological symptoms, memory loss. And after 5 or 6 years where they've been really chasing what's going on in their body, they finally are diagnosed with Lyme disease. And that's why I say there's so many different belief systems, there's so many different diagnoses by doctors, and it's really important to keep your mind open. If you are a patient that has these symptoms, if you are a person that has these symptoms on this page, please make sure that you really get tested for Lyme disease and that you don't give up on it, because another problem with Lyme disease is it's hard to diagnose. And then also there's a lot of misdiagnosis. So there's people that have it that aren't diagnosed for years. And then we talk a little bit about this in the slide deck, but if you're exposed to mold and fungus and different things like that, there's additional issues that can occur because they breed in those. So the manifestations of this clinically are really, 70% of the patients to 80 have these skin manifestations, or you see the rash. However, again, I'm going to say this, guys, just because you don't have the bullseye rash doesn't mean you don't have this disease. Joint inflammation, stiffness, and pain are typical of this disease. In fact, a lot of people with like Lyme disease, or like people with POTS or fibromyalgia, people don't want to hear them complain. But the problem is they have issues from paralysis to migraines to joint pain to cardiovascular issues to fatigue. I could just go on, and people think they're complaining, but the truth is this is a disease that's debilitating. If you have this disease, I do not want you to feel guilty. I don't want you to feel bad that you're complaining. Please understand that I understand, and hopefully your doctors understand how debilitating this is. And then feel like you're on a journey to health and wellness, because we're going to get your body supported so your body can handle these symptoms and you can support your body. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is not a short-term play. In my opinion, if you have Lyme disease, the rest of your life, you're going to have to be focused on wellness for your body and to make your body really have the tools to support itself so it can fight these different symptoms. So the diagnosis, again, there's ALISA test, there's Western blot test, which is what they used to use when I when they first looked at what I had. They also do a clinical evaluation. Like I know I had PET scans, CT scans. I had spinal taps. That was miserable. I did all kinds of things to really look at what was going on in my body. I was very blessed to be in North Carolina. I had one of the top doctors that was an ICU doctor that was able to help diagnose and treat Lyme disease. But most people are not that lucky. A lot of people have had this disease for years. It's been misdiagnosed as another autoimmune disorder or disease, or it's misdiagnosed. So please understand, don't give up hope. Just know that you've got to really help your body support itself so you can get rid of the spiral sheets and you can really support the overall body and how it works with the immune system. So, what are the treatments for Lyme disease? Well, they're all different. I was in one of the first patients, so they used Rocephin and a different type of chemotherapy on me. All my veins collapsed. I ended up having a shunt put in. It's on my left side. If you guys are ever around me, you could feel it. My kids used to, when I was breastfeeding, they used to touch it all the time because it's on my left side and it's like a bump and it sticks out because I had that port in for so long because they were continuously trying to really treat the Lyme disease and get rid of it. I lost my hair. I lost my eyelashes. I was on steroid treatments at the same time. My face was swollen. I felt completely discombobulated. And what I mean by that is I didn't even feel like it was my body. And I'm saying this, not that you guys should feel sorry for me. You shouldn't. I've gotten past it. But I'm saying this so you guys understand that I identify with you if you have this disease, because it is hard to treat and it's hard to live with. But we're going to talk about the steps to wellness and health as it pertains to this diagnosis. And then at the end, we're going to be giving, like I said, a protocol way to help someone that has not used the protocol yet so that we can really show how our products support overall wellness for people with Lyme disease, because nutritional components are so very important to this whole disease. If you can support the body and the immune system nutritionally, then that is one of the main steps of this disease, I believe. So what's the prevention of this? Because we know the treatments are predominantly pharmaceutical. We also understand we're going to talk about some nutraceutical options today, which because I have to be really candid. One of the reasons I worked on Clean Slate was because the more I researched the research around zeolites and the white papers and the patents, I understood that a silica or a zeolite that was made into a silica could actually help the body support itself so that the body could have more of an equilibrium, getting rid of the trash and the toxins. And part of those toxins come from Lyme disease if you have Lyme disease, guys. So let's just talk about reality. When you have Lyme disease, there's things going on inside of your body that they're called environmental factors, because the tick or the flea or the mosquito bit you, like any kind of disease that is from a tick, flea, or mosquito. Then they go into your body and your body now has this disease inside. So you have to look at this like you're treating almost your skin, because you're treating the inside of the body that has something from the outside that's there that's really causing this dysfunction, which is why I feel like Clean Slate was such a natural choice for me. And if anyone's ever heard me talk about this, you would know that I developed that in 2015, but I never got paid for that product from any company, because there's other companies out there that have products I've worked on. I just wanted the products for me and my family because I understood how important it was to get rid of things in my body like Lyme disease, and I wanted to support my overall body. I do want to say this though, for prevention, I don't have it in here, but one of the meetings I'm having today with one of the top suppliers of hunting gear and insect repellent is to talk about Environ and skin defense, and how Environ and skin defense can be put on your skin and on clothing to protect against ticks, fleas, and mosquitoes and chiggers and things like that. I used it at the farm. If any of you guys were there with me, you know that I did it because I'm paranoid, right? I'm paranoid about chiggers. I'm paranoid about ticks. And I wanted to spray it all over my skin and all over my clothes. And then, of course, when I came back into the house, I then again sprayed my ankles, my head, my hair, my neck, and my arms with it. Then I took a shower and sprayed again, because for me, this was an important thing to prevent, getting another form of Lyme disease. I did not want to have it. So I'm on the farm, I'm outside a lot, and I make sure I'm protecting myself. So make sure you put prevention. Do not forget about the fact that Root has products that can help you in this area as well. I also use the Environ and the Skin Defense on my dogs and cats. I wanted to add that so you guys know that. Kodo is what we usually use for the animals. If I don't have that, I just use the Skin Defense and Environ. So, what are the complications of Lyme disease? You know, I I think there's a lot of complications that we don't have time to talk about. I know that there's neurological problems that some people think will never go away. I do believe when you support the body, you can reverse a lot of that because I have. As far as chronic arthritis and joint damage, I don't even know if my children know this. My mom and dad probably do. I was diagnosed with psoriasis and rheumatoid arthritis during this whole time, as well as ulcerative colitis. Like there was one diagnosis after another. And so, what I learned to do during this time is as much as I loved my doctor and really cared about them, I did not hold on to those diagnoses. In my mind, I just knew that it was from Lyme disease and I needed to get rid of things and that I could clear up a lot of the other symptoms because I believe the rheumatoid arthritis I was diagnosed with, the psoriasis, the other stuff that were the diagnosis along with Lyme disease, I don't truly believe were my diagnosis. At one point, they thought I had multiple sclerosis, for example. Again, I do not believe those were my diagnosis. I believe I had Lyme disease, and the doctors then kept giving me diagnosis. So if you have Lyme disease and you have been given 2, 3, 4 diagnoses, remember your main goal is to get to the root of the cause of the issue and get rid of the bad things in your body so you can support your overall body. So even if you have Lyme disease, it's not at an optimum, and that's your major goal. Um, I have got to take a call. I'm going to go through 2 or 3 more slides, and then I'm going to go into the products, and then I'm going to have to get off. Tiger, are you on this?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, babe. I've got to get off really quick and get back on because Karen's calling me. Can you take over
Okay.
for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me. Okay. So the prognosis and the recovery. So, like Christina, I can't speak on personal experience, but I can just say what I've researched about this. So, most people do recover, but a lot of people do have lingering symptoms such as joint problems, neurological problems. The post treatment for Lyme disease, about 10 to 20% experience the lingering fatigue, the brain fog, even after the treatment. That's the residual virus lingering in the system. Ongoing research links chronic symptoms to immune imbalance, mitochondrial dysfunction, gut microbiome disruption, offering insight into why some patients struggle to fully recover. Because we all know if you're toxic and your gut is not functioning properly, obviously our body is not going to fight off things in our body properly. So, Duquesne, do you want me to stop here?
Yeah, let's pause here because Dr. Ram should be back on soon and she can go over this. So for all those who are asking about the protocol, that is what we've always been doing the last couple weeks. So that will be gone over. It always goes over last. If you all know anything about Dr. Ram, she wants just giving information out about what products to take isn't what she's here for. So the purpose of these calls is to educate so people are actually understanding and can do their own research and come to their own conclusions. So I will say Dr. Ram will never start a presentation by saying, hey, here's what products you should be taking. The
Yes.
truth is that's not what Root is here for. We're not like the other companies out there. So for anybody who is new to these calls, that always comes last because the first part is informational. Tiger, I do have a question though that somebody private messaged me, and it is a good one. Do with the research of Lyme disease, and this was kind of suggested in the last one, is this something that like all the long-term effects are fully known, or is this something that's like continuously evolving as we move forward?
It's still continuously evolving because I think we're still trying to understand autoimmune diseases in itself because, Lyme disease stems
Yeah.
to autoimmune diseases, and we're still trying to get to the bottom of where autoimmune diseases stem from, which is the gut, I'm pretty sure, but that's just from my own research.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and that's one of the things where I feel like, and I know this is true because my Christina and I talk about it every year, is that some new research comes out about the long-term effects of Lyme's disease, and it is either a symptom or something that she's tried to deal with in the past. And often doctors or people she would go to wouldn't listen to her about it potentially stemming from that. And I feel like every year there is something new that is coming out that is a long-term effect or is a way that autoimmune disorders are kind of connected to this almost like trigger event, which was the Lyme disease.
right, which is a virus. And it's kind of like the long COVID, like we're still getting symptoms of people that get long COVID and we're trying to figure out where those stem from. I think it's all of these viruses that stay in the body that is stemming the autoimmune diseases to be a symptom of that. And like conventional doctors, they just want to say, oh, you have IBS or you have MS, but they don't want to connect it back to your original Lyme disease.
Yeah, no, thank
Have
you for
any
that,
insight on
Tiger.
that?
No, I think
Okay.
that was good.
I was asking Tyan if she had anything else to put.
Um,
While we're
the
doing this, does anybody else have any questions for me while we're just here? No? Okay.
Dylan, if you're still on here, my DeepL is not working right now, so the German questions I am having trouble getting.
So I'll
So
figure something else out. I'll start translating.
yeah, no, you're good. I was doing it and my DeepL just is not working right now, so that's wonderful.
My DeepL unfortunately only gives me a certain amount of translations and then I can't use it no more.
For that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how mine is.
A lot of these questions are just about the protocol, which again, I've already answered twice. I'm not going to answer it again.
Yeah,
Please,
the
please
the
listen.
only other one in German was also about like dosage. And again, dosage will be part of the end of this.
The last thing I want to go over is more of just logistics because Dr. Ram did just bring this up at the beginning. So every route you call, we will be picking somebody that will get the whatever is the protocol for that um, issue, disorder, disease, and they will get that for free. I do want to just clarify that it has to be somebody on the call. And so you all might have noticed this, but we are leaning towards those who attend the calls are always going to get the first emphasis on this stuff. So
Go into them real
for those
quick.
ambassadors, please don't feel like you don't need to reach out to us and tell us people that need these products. This is going to be especially for those who are on the call and based off who is picked.
Like a pen
Dr.
or
Ram is going to pick those and we'll send out that protocol to them through our shipping.
Do
I
we
am
we
go
want to
ahead.
do a giveaway now? Want to buy some time?
We can.
I'm sure I think instead of doing it at the end, maybe we can pick someone now. I'll let Duquesne do that.
Did you all have the questions that you were going to ask to do this? Or was there not anything specific?
I didn't even know we were doing a giveaway.
Let's hold off on it. Nurse Christie has a question. Tiger, if you can get that and let me check where they're at and I will get it from there because
Yeah.
yeah.
Nurse Christy? Oh, hold on. Can you unmute?
Now I can.
There you go. I saw your mouth moving.
I opened my camera so that you could see me trying to talk. I'm just wondering, do you know if Dr. Ram has done any research into the similarities of Lyme disease and mold toxicity? Because as she was talking, it sounded so familiar.
So yes, and I think she might can speak on that a little bit better than me because you're asking if she's done research on that. And I know I have personally, but I can let her answer that whenever she gets back on if you want to hear from her.
Well, I mean, you guys do a lot of stuff together, so
We do.
respect, I respect your research as well.
But a lot of the mold symptoms are very similar to the Lyme's disease. So the Lyme disease protocol could be very useful for mold. And we also do have all different protocols for mold, fungus, all of that good stuff too.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Agnes, do you have a question? Oh, hold on, you're muted.
Établir le son.
Here you go.
Bonjour, j'ai une question. Est-ce que la maladie de Lyme peut provoquer de l'eczéma ou du psoriasis dans les oreilles?
I don't think my French interpretation worked.
Tiger, you have to be in the English channel to hear the French interpretation.
Okay. Can you repeat
Sure.
that one more time? Sorry.
Oui. Est-ce que la maladie de Lyme peut provoquer du psoriasis ou de l'eczéma dans les oreilles?
So psoriasis can pop up anywhere. I get psoriasis underneath my armpits. I get it in my scalp. I get it on my chin. I get it on my eyelids. It really just depends on where you're harboring those toxins, and that's where it shows at. Some people get it on they have the plaque psoriasis, which goes on like the back of their kneecaps and their legs. So it can really manifest anywhere, kind of like dermatitis. It can really manifest in a lot of places where you're probably harboring a lot of those toxins. And if you're taking clean slate, you might also see them come out in those areas because it's helped getting rid of those toxins. And the skin is your biggest organ. So if you're very toxic, you're going to expel those toxins through your skin. Sorry if I talk too loud or too fast.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
So Tiger, she's still on that call. I just caught up with her. So she wants us to get started going ahead into some of the products that are recommended, and go ahead and add in, we can do the suggested dosages and protocol for each of those before we do the giveaway at the end.
Okay. So can I leave my slides the way that they are?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. I was trying to go in and fix them really fast. Can I answer this question first before we do that? Or
Of
you want to go
course.
into it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sophie. Oh, can we unmute? Can
Okay.
you there you go. I still can't hear anything.
I think you might have double clicked it because you muted and then unmuted.
There you go.
Bon, mais ça ne marchait pas. Oui, en fait, en France, il y a beaucoup de problèmes de tests qui sont souvent faux ou incomplets. Et donc, en fait, on peut quand même présupposer que, surtout si la personne a été piquée, et lui proposer un protocole, puisque comme on traite la cause et que cette cause, on la retrouve dans beaucoup de maladies, on peut aussi approcher les personnes comme ça, même si elles n'ont pas de diagnostic, parce que c'est un peu dramatique, elles courent après le diagnostic et il n'y en a pas. Et l'idée, ce serait de pouvoir leur dire, mais vous savez qu'avec ça, vous allez... Voilà, c'est ce que je voulais dire parce qu'en France, on a ce problème. Voilà, c'était une
So
question.
I think proactively taking the root products if they think they might have Lyme disease or any kind of autoimmune disease, any disease in general, if they suspect that they have a disease or a disorder that they haven't been diagnosed with, giving them the root products won't hurt them. It will only help them, and they might not even have to go get an official diagnosis because it can help all those problems so they don't have to go to the doctor. So I think just being proactive and just ensuring them and telling them about the products, like, hey, this can help you even if you suspect you have this diagnosis. How about we start this protocol and then you might not even have to go get that diagnosis.
Merci.
All right, I'm gonna proceed with our presentation. So,
Il m'avait squeezé, mais elle a dit.
oh, hold on. And okay. And so first we're going to go over Clean Slate, which is obviously Christina's favorite and that she actually worked on whenever she was, having her own symptoms of Lyme disease. So how can Clean Slate help? So it can help with toxin removal. So the bioavailable silica from the clinoptilolite helps bind the heavy metals and it helps actually remove those toxins released from the Borrelia virus. So it helps reduce the neurological and inflammatory burden of the body. The biofilm support, so the silica and the trace minerals can help disrupt that biofilm, making the pathogens more accessible to your immune system. So your immune system can help fight off that virus and then it will be familiar with it. So if it ever comes back, if it lays dormant and comes back, your immune system can recognize that and it can help fight it. And then, so the tissue and the collagen repair. So bioavailable silica helps support collagen and connective tissue integrity, helping the joints, the fascia, and the nerves all affected by the Lyme disease. It also helps with antioxidants and immune balance. So the vitamin C and the trace minerals work together to reduce the oxidative stress that Lyme disease puts on the body, and it can support cellular repair and immune function. So the protocol for this is going to be, if you haven't started Clean Slate, we always suggest starting with 1 to 2 drops daily just so you can get rid or get used to it. And then if you are used to it, we suggest starting with two times 5 drops in the morning and in the evening for 3 days. And then you increase 1 drop every day as tolerated until you reach 10 drops daily. So I do suggest taking Clean Spirits and Clean Slate together because I like Clean Spirits with the zinc and the NAC support. So I like to take Clean Slate in the morning and Clean Spirits in the evening, just so it has more immune support for your body. But you obviously can take just Clean Slate morning and evening if that's what you prefer. Everybody's different. This is just the protocol that me and Christina have worked on for everybody. So the next one is going to be 0 in. Obviously, I know you are so fatigued if you suffer.
Tiger, I'm going to interrupt real quick just
Yeah.
because I am getting messages that there are a lot of new people. So I do want to clarify this, and Tiger just hinted at this a little bit. But as we go through this, this is the kind of recommendation or the average protocol that would work for maybe a majority of people that Tiger and Dr. Rahm have worked on and kind of did the research into to make sure they hit all the symptoms and core issues, core
Yes.
causes.
Yeah.
But it is not by means a like one
Set
fits
in
all.
stone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there is room to adjust these, especially how your body is. Or if there is something that where you have a symptom or cause that you think is more prevalent for you, you could then focus on those products if you wanted to get started with something.
Yes.
And so I did want to clarify that for those that are new. I think that's a good point because we're used to these being people who have been here for a
Right.
lot of these, but it does seem like there's a lot of new ones. So as you all hear Tiger going over these, they can be adjusted based off your own personal situations and what is kind of impacting you in your day-to-day life.
Yes, and how you tolerate like the products. Like me personally, I can only take 1 0 in. So taking this protocol, I would only take 1 0 in. So just do whatever feels good for your body. And some people might need to take a little bit more because that's where they need more support. So just this is like your little basis, and then you can base it off of how your body feels. So this is kind of like you can take these products, but you might have to mix and match the dosing. So 0 in is going to be our next one, and how it helps with Lyme disease. So Lyme disease often depletes your dopamine and serotonin. You're fatigued, you're depressed, you have brain fog. Like Christina said, she didn't even know her name. So this can help with that and stimulate your brain. So the N-acetyltyrosine and the velvet bean seed help to support dopamine synthesis, improves motivation, and mental clarity. The neuroinflammation reduction, so curcumin and pine bark inhibit the KB and KOX2 pathways, helping reduce microglial activation and oxidative stress in the brain. The neuroprotection comes from the vitamin D3, which supports neuronal signaling and immune regulation within the central nervous system, which is often compromised with the Lyme disease virus. So the L-theanine can help calm your whole system because your whole nervous system is kind of just frantic whenever it has this virus. So it can help promote relaxation and it won't make you tired. So the protocol for this is 1 capsule in the morning for 3 days, and then you increase to 2 capsules, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Of course, like I said, I only take 1 0 in. So if you're like me, I would do a half in the morning and then half in the afternoon. Restore is going to be our next product, and it has black cumin seed, resveratrol, turmeric, raspberry ketones, apple cider vinegar, aloe vera, and D-ribose. So the black cumin seed oil balances the Th1 and Th2 immune responses, and it helps suppress chronic inflammation caused by persistent bacterial fragments from the Lyme disease. The cellular repair comes from the D-ribose, which replenishes ATP production, which is vital for Lyme patients experiencing fatigue. And resveratrol and turmeric work together to protect the mitochondria from oxidative stress and DNA damage, which is caused by chronic infection. The gut-liver axis, aloe vera and apple cider work together to aid in detoxification in microbiome recovery disrupted by antibiotics, endotoxins. The virus itself can disrupt the microbiome. So the protocol for this is to start off with 1/2 sachet in the morning for 3 days, and then increase to 1 sachet in the morning for 3 days, then 1 sachet in the morning and 1 sachet in the evening for 3 days, then 2 sachets in the morning and 1 sachet in the evening. So I'm recommending taking 3 sachets because of the support that it can give you. But if you are just starting off, and most people only take 1 sachet, but this is for really, really supporting your microbiome because this is where it all stems from. If we can get this healthy, then we can start healing the body from the inside out. Our next one is going to be ReLive Greens, and how it also helps with heavy metal and toxin binding. So taking this along with Clean Slate really, really helps get out those toxins in your body. So chlorella and spirulina specifically help chelate the metals, the mercury, the lead that exacerbate neuroinflammation and bacterial presence. The prebiotic fibers in ReLive Greens, like agave, inulin, flaxseed, apple cider vinegar, promote beneficial gut bacteria, restoring short-chain fatty acid production for immune balance. The alkalization and nutrient replenishment comes from wheatgrass, the kale, and the spinach, which supply chlorophyll, magnesium, and antioxidants, which help those detox pathways, which also help your gut. So everything in this, you got to clean out your gut and you got to clean out your body so your body can do the things that it's meant to do. And then the lymphatic cleansing comes from the aloe vera and the cayenne, which help circulation and help toxin elimination. So the protocol for this one is going to be 1/3 teaspoon in the evening for 3 days, and then 1/3 teaspoon in the morning, and then 1/3 teaspoon in the evening. The evening teaspoon, I like to recommend taking this in the evening just from listening to our presentations from ISNS because your body goes through intense detox as it's sleeping. So you want to fill your body with things that can help with that detox while you're sleeping. And ReLive Greens is one of those things that you can take to help your body while it's sleeping and to regenerate and help your gut. And then Immune Defense Shield. And how it can help with Lyme disease is immune regulation from vitamin D3 and K2, which
Tiger,
modulate. Yeah,
real quick, can you slow down just ever so slightly? I
sorry.
think
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
So the vitamin D3 and the K2, they modulate immune T cell activity, which helps reduce autoimmune inflammation, which is seen in post-Lyme syndromes, and which also helps stem all those other autoimmune diseases like IBS and psoriasis. All of those things, if we can keep those under control, that will help you not get those other diagnoses, if you want to put it like that. The mitochondrial function is very important because people with Lyme disease experience severe fatigue. So the NAD and the magnesium are crucial to restore cellular energy and DNA repair, which get depleted by chronic infection and chronic inflammation. The antioxidant synergy. So the vitamin C and the quercetin work together to reduce the histamine-driven inflammation and oxidative stress in the joints, the nerves, the tissues, and the cells. The trace minerals come in and they help replenish essential electrolytes lost through chronic inflammation and detox processes. So the protocol for this one is going to be 1 capsule in the morning and then 1 capsule in the evening for 7 days. And then after that, you're going to increase to 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules in the evening. This is also another one that you can play around with the dosing. This is just what we've seen that helps people. Sometimes you might need to take less, sometimes you might need to take more, just for the chronic inflammation aspect of this product. And then, so Sculpt, this is a new one that we've added because we have seen the beneficial support in case studies for chronic inflammation and metabolic regulation. Oh, Christina, do you want to take over?
I think I'm going to let you finish. I love watching you, or I love
Okay.
listening to you, Tiger. And then I'll go over the protocol and questions at the end. Okay? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So
That's
how Sculpt can help with the Lyme disease is it has adaptogens in it. So astragalus and panax notogensine support adrenal resilience and immune modulation when you're under chronic stress. So adaptogens can go wherever your body is feeling stress and they can help with that. And astragalus and panax notogensine do that for Sculpt. And then so metabolic regulation comes from Gymna sylvestre and white kidney bean, which help balance blood sugar and reduce candida overgrowth that worsens with Lyme's disease. So a lot of people don't know that candida can be a secondary symptom of Lyme disease. Anti-inflammatory and circulatory support. So the ginger root improves microcirculation and helps reduce systemic inflammation, while valerian root supports your nervous system and helps you sleep, and it improves your sleep quality. So the protocol for this one is going to be 1 capsule in the morning and 1 capsule in the evening. And you can mix and match with that one as well. Like personally, I take 2 capsules in the morning and that's how I feel the most beneficial support from Sculpt. And then we have Crush. Crush is my favorite because it has a little bit of everything in it, and a lot of people don't know that it has benefits outside of working out. So for Crush, it helps with the muscle and mitochondrial repair. So it has essential amino acids and HMB that helps rebuild the tissues damaged by that chronic inflammation. The glutathione and the phytoplankton help prevent potent tetrasod phytoplankton and L-glutathione provide potent antioxidants defense against free radicals, which come from inflammation, detoxification, chronic stress, all of that good stuff. So the liver protection comes from milk thistle and juniper berry, which support hepatic detoxification and bacterial byproducts from medications that you might be taking to help get rid of your Lyme disease. So vascular and collagen protection, grapeseed extract enhances capillary integrity and reduces the oxidative burden of that stress from the chronic virus that's in your body. So the protocol for that one is going to be 1/3 teaspoon daily. And personally, I like to put it in my bone broth and it makes it easy and I don't forget to take it every morning. And then we have Clean Spirits. So Clean Spirits has NAC, which directly can support the synthesis of glutathione, which everybody knows is the master antioxidant, and it can help neutralize those toxins from the Borrelia virus and other co-infections that you might have. Electrolyte balance, ionic minerals replenish trace nutrients for nerve, muscle, and mitochondrial function. The silica aids connective tissue repair, kind of like Clean Slate does, strengthening the brain and the gut membranes. And like I said, I like to alternate these two because the NAC and the zinc in the Clean Spirits gives that your body a little bit more support. So I like to take Clean Slate in the morning and then Clean Spirits in the evening, or vice versa. So this one's going to be 2 drops in the morning and evening for 2 days. and then increase 1 drop every 3 days until reaching two times 5 drops daily. And then alternate between Clean Slate and then Xoted Support. So Xoted Support has vitamin C, calcium, magnesium, garlic, vitamin E, and vitamin B. It has garlic's allicin, has natural antibacterial and antifungal activity, which help assist the immune defense against persistent infections and that Borrelia virus. Mitochondrial cofactors, B vitamins, especially B1, B6, and B12, and magnesium help restore nerve signaling, energy production, and helps detox enzyme activity. Antioxidant synergy, so the vitamin C and the E come in to help protect neuronal and endothelial cells from oxidative stress, which are caused by chronic inflammation. And the protocol for this one would be 1/3 teaspoon in the morning. And then that is my protocol.
And Dr. Rahm, I will ask you to unmute because I know you were going to go over what to start.
Yes.
There you are. Yes.
Yes. Hi, guys. Good job, Tiger. That was great. I wanted to give content to everyone on understanding what a protocol is. So for today, we will be starting with the protocol for Lyme disease with the Trinity. I want whoever, we're going to choose someone, either that it's you or someone you know that has an issue with Lyme disease. And then we would like it to be someone that has not used our products yet. But if you've used our products, we can start from there and customize it to you. When I deal with patients one-on-one or customers one-on-one that have to do with Lyme disease, everybody's different. And I typically say, start on Clean Slate first for at least 2 weeks, up to 6 to 9 months. And the reason I do that is I'm trying to get them to get to a higher dose of Clean Slate. And I do like to add clean spirits to it later, but I like their body to get used to it, because people that have had Lyme disease, like me, or some of you, if you're exposed to like certain things like glutathione or a hyperbaric chamber, and I saw different questions about that, it can actually cause the cascade of the Lyme disease to get worse. You have to be very careful what you put in your body, even if it's something positive, because remember, you've got an environmental trigger and factor in there, basically breeding in your body. So your goal is to get rid of it, create equilibrium. You're going to start again with Clean Slate. A lot of Lyme disease patients are like autism patients, and that means it takes them a while to work up to 10 drops in the morning and 10 at night. So we're going to have Tiger and Tiana and myself and other people help with this, but we'll do a call with whoever wins, and we'll do an introductory call. And then after 30 days, we'll do another one. So just so you go know, when Tiger's talking about protocols, we have an actual protocol for Lyme disease that I'm going to do a video on and pictures on, and we will post. We also use those protocols for doctors. We don't tell doctors how to treat patients. We tell them these are recommendation protocols. And the way I really want us to word it is Lyme disease wellness protocol. So we're going to use what happens in this meeting to also help us get more data, more information. So we need someone that's willing to have us help them and willing to have us see how they're doing. If they don't do well on the products, then I will be, or if they do well, I will be stepping in to make sure that we personally look at what's going on. We can't be their doctor, but we can give support as it pertains to our products. So as of today, we will pick someone. I'm going to let Duquesne and Dylan pick the person that we feel like we should do a case study with for 30 days. That person will be getting the Trinity, but I will want them to start with the Clean Slate. So we will work with them on this. And then again, Tiger, Tiana, and myself will follow up with them. So we're seeing how they're doing after 30 days. Anything we need to add to the protocol, if we decide to track after 30 days, we will pay for as well. So if we decide to keep following this person because we want the case studies and we want to see how they're doing, we will keep following them. There may be people, there may be the person that we pick, maybe someone that needs all of our products, right? And that's what we will transition to. So we are going to personally work with this person to support them on their wellness journey through Root, starting with giving them the Trinity. So my first question to you all is, who do you recommend and why? And I can't read all this while we're in the car, Duquesne and Dylan, so you can help me.
Can I
We can
volunteer
check.
Justin?
Well, Clayton
Well,
wants to volunteer Justin Bieber, but we're not doing that because
Can we have a clarification? Because I'm getting this question a lot. And I know you talked about it a little bit, and then we can pick the winner. But people want to know, because there was a lot of products there that went over, and so they want to know if they need to be taking all of them, or what is the reasoning for starting with the Trinity, and how do they then know if they need to add other stuff?
right. That's why everybody's body's different. So there's no way. It's like someone with fibromyalgia or multiple sclerosis. That's why we give people protocol options. So for example, we tell them what we recommend for if they're going to take our product to support them. But my recommendation to someone who has not been on our products is to start with Clean Slate and then go to the Trinity before they move on to other products. But it is a case by case basis. So Duquesne, it's kind of like if you go to the doctor and you have a cold, every doctor is going to prescribe something different. Does that make sense? So we're going to use this as an opportunity to gather another case study and track. So the person we choose may need to be on all the products, or we may evaluate it after 30 days of giving them the Trinity, having them start on Clean Slate. And by doing check-ins, we may say, just stay on the Trinity or just stay on Clean Slate, because everybody's different. Like some people don't take Zero in and they can't tolerate it, whereas some people live on it, like me and like Clay. You know, everyone's just different. And I hope that answers for everyone, because the truth is all these products could help someone with Lyme disease, but being able to take all the products every day is not doable for everyone. Clean Slate as a standalone is a product that it's helping get rid of the trash and stop the bad communication in your body by supporting cellular health and getting rid of the negative ions that shouldn't be in the body and the junk and the trash, which part of that, if you have Lyme disease, I hate to tell you guys this, but it's even worse than someone without it, because you're accumulating trash and you can't get rid of it because your body goes into this, what's called a inflammatory cascade, and it can't. So we're going to start with the protocol being the Trinity, Duquesne, but we'll start with the person starting with Clean Slate. And like I said, over the 90-day period, we can choose to add more products, or I've consulted, and no one's paid me, I just do this for free. I've consulted with a lot of Lyme disease patients that they just stay on Clean Slate and Zero in because they like the Zero in for energy. They feel better, like Lyme disease is getting better when they're taking Clean Slate. And I have had one of the worst cases of Lyme disease, and I have seen significant differences since I've been on Clean Slate. I think adding Restore and Zero in helped me even more, which is why we're willing to start with all three products. But first we have to pick the person we're going to give it to, and then we'll have to send them a questionnaire or do a video with them so we can know how to start them.
Can I ask 2 questions?
Clayton wants to ask a couple of questions.
Oh, I'm on camera. One, so the inflammatory cascade, one of the big problems with this Borrelia bacteria is the fact that they're pooping in your body, which causes a bunch of the chaos, correct?
Yes. So he just asked me if the Borrelia, what's happening is if they're using the bathroom in your body. And so, and when they use the bathroom, and I don't think he added this, but I'll add it. This is maybe what he was saying. They actually submit a toxin or emit a toxin. It's like a chemical, which is poisonous to the body. So they're slowly laying these eggs, and then some of the eggs are dying. And so you have this continuous poison basically being released in the system. Clay's right, and I'm glad he asked the question, because that's why Clean Slate is so important. And I know Tyger and Tiana and Duquesne, and we all know that, but that's why, because you've got to get that out first. Otherwise, you're using our products and putting a patch to it. I will say, I'm almost positive whoever we choose, I will end up also having them on ReLive Greens. Because for me personally, it's been one of the biggest detox products I've ever taken. Clean Slate and Clean Spirits are, of course, top of that list, but ReLive Greens are also another layer. However, that doesn't mean I would change the protocol. Whoever we start on, I want to start with the Clean Slate. And I hope that makes sense. Was that clear, Duquesne?
Yeah, and that's what I wanted people to hear, because even if they don't get picked for this, I want people to be able to start on their journey for at least trying to, take next steps. And so that's exactly what
Yeah.
I was hoping for. So that way, even if you're not chosen, you know what a good starting point is for you so that you can start making steps in your life to improve everything.
Yeah.
So
I want to
And then you guys can use testimonials on this too. You know that, right, Duquesne?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, do you and Clayton want somebody who is on the call to be picked, or do you want it where people can like nominate friends or people they know, or would you prefer to keep it people on the call?
I nominate Justin Bieber,
Okay.
or I nominate
Duquesne.
Justin Timberlake in
Okay.
honor of Duquesne.
Okay, Duquesne. So the answer to this is we will be doing this at every root year. To be able to be given the protocol, you have to be on the call
What I thought.
that's willing to track them on the case study. So that's why it's hard, Duquesne. We have to know they're willing to let us do that because we're giving them free product and they have to be signed up. We will not choose someone that's not on the group. However, you could choose someone that gives it to someone under them, if that makes sense. They just have
Yeah.
to sign them up. So Duquesne, if they're going to give it to them, they have to be signed up.
Well, and we have to be in contact with them because we need to be able to get the data from them afterwards too.
Yes, which is why these calls should have people inviting people that have these kinds of autoimmune or diseases so that they can learn about it. And that's what we need to do with root use.
Yes, which is a great point for anybody that is an ambassador out there. You should, when you see what the topic is, you should be inviting people. And one of the things we're doing next year is that you all will know the topics months in advance. So we're excited for that. I do see hands. We're going to pick somebody for this before we do questions. So if you all could put your hands down, I will hit you up after. If you are somebody who wants to be part of this protocol because you are suffering from Lyme's disease, or you know somebody, please raise your hand, and then we're going to do our typical number game that we love to do. So again, if you raise your hand and you end up not wanting to do the data for this, then you won't end up getting the free products. So by raising your hand, you have to be willing that you will send us the reports on how the outcomes are for you. I'm going to give about 30 more seconds for hands to be able to be raised.
Hey, while you're doing that, is it not true that you can join RPS this month and get free shipping on your first order and save 10%, which means that if you're not chosen, you could actually start with a discount.
Yeah, and you can have the first product that Dr. Rahm recommended, which would be Clean Slate, and get it at a good price. So
Get a
Clayton,
good price. Get it at a better price.
Clayton, you cannot see the screen, which is good. So Clayton, give me a number 1 through 16.
Oh, well, that's easy. Number 7.
Number 7, he said.
On my screen, it looks like that is Angela Sawitsky. And so I'm going to ask Angela to unmute real quick. And Angela, what I will need you to do is you can private message Dylan or myself your email, and we will get in contact about what this will look like. So I'm asking you to unmute.
And Angela, when you get a lot better, you owe me.
I don't know what that means.
Because I chose you.
Okay.
You're so great. I thank you very much.
Wonderful. So, Angela, have you started Clean Slate so far? Are you on Clean Slate?
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you on the Trinity?
Yes.
Okay, so for you, because you're already on those, what we'll do is we'll set up a call and give you 3 products you're not on to integrate it into what you're doing. And then I'll review what you're doing and also personally be able to talk to you to see what we can do to support you. Okay, and Tiger and Tiana will be part of this. So Duquesne, the next step is that we'll set up a call, Tiger Tiana through Stephanie, where we're doing a call with her to start working on this together, and then we'll do follow-ups. That way you'll get free product, and we'll also personally pay attention to your wellness journey through Root. I hope that's okay, and I hope we can make you feel even better.
We need someone that's not on anything yet.
Thank you very much.
We're to chose her. So Clayton,
Okay.
so
But I want to do one
Duquesne,
more.
he wants to do one more because he
I can
wants
do that.
somebody that's never, okay.
Yeah. So
Duquesne, check
Angela
your
is gonna-
messages.
I did. I want to make sure that it's somebody that is brand new and isn't on any of it though.
Okay.
So Angela will be one of them. Do we have anybody here? If you all could lower your hands now, but do we have anybody here who is not on Clean Slate currently? And I'm going to verify this because I can see your accounts. So please don't raise your hand. And then I go check your account and you are on Clean Slate. So is there anybody who is not on Clean Slate at all right now and would be interested in this? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to go with the number 7 again, which is Rashea Williams, I believe. So I'm going to ask her to unmute. Wow, Clayton, your number 7 worked both times.
Let's go.
Okay, why do I feel like you're a teacher in school trying to get the kid that keeps talking to not talk?
That's not it at all. I don't have any of that in me.
Okay, she unmuted?
No, she hasn't, but Rashea or Miss Williams, I might be saying your first name wrong. If you are there, we do need to hear from you and get your email, and then we can set up a meeting with you. Can't see if while we're waiting to see if she can unmute, Mom, there's one other question that has happened, and I think I know the answer already, but if there's an animal that is diagnosed with it, what would be the steps that you recommend other than just doing, I'm assuming Pure Clean Pets is going to be the first step, but is there anything else you recommend?
Well, I also, so the anagreens, for example, and longer lives, those would be great. Like we will end up taking, we'll end up incorporating that into the case study with Lyme disease here as well. But that whole line for animals is helpful to get rid of things. Another thing you can add is the clean spirits as well as the Xoted would be good for animals, but you just have to make sure because some dogs, some animals will not tolerate a lot of the Xoted powder. So you only need to use a little bit because you have to think of it like you're getting rid of a parasite, right? So you're trying to clean out the whole body. And then again, I want to go back to this. If you guys are outside, you should be using Skin Defense and Environ to protect your bodies to make sure you're not getting bit, because the last thing you want is to have this go into your body. If you already have it though, we're going to do the protocol we talked about starting with Clean Slate. With animals, you're going to start with clean pets. You're right, Duquesne.
Perfect. So I think that's about it for our time. I do want to just re-emphasize for those that weren't part of this, Clayton brought up a great point with the special that we're running with RPS and some of the other things going on this month. If you know somebody, it is a great time to offer up and maybe help them get their first RPS started. And like Dr. Rahm said, Clean Slate is a great place to start. And so I just want to re-emphasize, even if they weren't the person picked, because we do have those two, there is the ability for them to still try these products. And the other thing is, please remember when you find out what the topic is in the weekend reports, then invite anybody you know that is suffering or struggling with that, because that will open up the possibility of 1, for them to learn, but 2, for them to potentially be picked to have this opportunity with Dr. Rahm and be in a case study. So I think
Duquesne, did they pick, if there's someone that asks about an animal, I would love to have a case study with an animal that we produce as well. So if there's someone that asks that, I would love to have their contact information.
Okay.
I mean, Rashay That question on top of your phone, you just have to click the word unmute. And that's how you unmute. But I know we're out of time, so we'll probably lost that one.
I was about to say, so we are running out of time. We would love to have people join next week, and it will continue to be this format. And again, keep an eye out for anything on ISNS because Tyger, Dr. Rahm, and Tiana are working on some great little like one-page protocols that I know will start being rolled out there, and there will be a bunch of white papers, and a lot of the decks and slides will also be on ISNS for access. So.
And they can join for free right now, so make sure they have that information from Tiger and Tiana. Thank you, Duquesne. Thank you, Dylan, Tiger, and Tiana. See you guys later. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.